Reading and approval of the minutes from 6/4 and 7/17. I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Second?
Any discussion, edits, comments? All right, on to new business.
Okay.
Discussions on the edits to the employee handbook. Everybody have a chance to look that over in your packet? Yes.
So,
Nancy, do you wanna lead us off on that?
yeah, I'm just gonna give you, in your packet on page 18, we have, a public safety employee. This could apply to any employee who has, recently had, a child is on FMLA, and, it's gonna be a protracted care period for that child. And so while this is something that we had discussed, as part of the original update or edit to the, handbook, it's become really apparent that this is something that's needed by somebody with on our staff, and there's been an expression of support from the other staff members around this. So what we're looking to do is to put a donation policy in place. Haven't done these before. We did put some, what I'll call checks and balances within this. So what we did want to have happen was somebody go, hey, I'm getting ready to retire, or, I've got some excess time here and I'm just gonna lump it over for the benefit of somebody else. It genuinely is a donation policy. Hey, I can donate 24 hours of, time that I've accrued to this individual. So it also encourages, broad-based, support. So that's what you see there on page 18. I'll ask, are there any questions on that one?
Well, you indicated that it was, for birth of child or care of child, but it should be for any
FMLA
eligible event.
Yeah, so it says on there, may donate
Okay.
to a designated court recipient on FMLA. So as long as they're on FMLA,
That's what I read, but because she's recording, I just wanted to verify that.
sure.
A verbal aspect.
Sure, thank you.
So you're on page 18, cause I'm seeing it's on 15.
so it's in the packet, page 18. So
Okay,
it may show up different for you from what you've got there. Yeah, so
Yep.
that's it. It's 18. What I'm saying is this number right here.
Got it.
Page number, top right. Okay, so I will tell you that, any policy that you write, there's always the possibility there are gonna be some holes in this. And so the questions that will probably come up at some point in the future is something like, well, what happens if we donate time to somebody and then they leave? What happens, right? Where does that go? And so what I've tried to create through this is what I would describe as an intermediate bank that takes care of the employee while they're out on FMLA, and then if the time is unused, it gets returned back to the original donor, all of it on a pro rata basis. Try to account for maybe some of those things that might come up in the future, because as sure as we don't write something in there, there's gonna be a question over something
Yeah.
down the road. Moving on to page 19.
Before you go on, is there a
Oh,
reason
sure.
why, you designated 24 hours rather than a 40-hour week?
It's one work day. That was my fault there. So if you look at
Okay.
fire, I'm sorry, not fire, but EMS, that's going to be a 48-hour work week. If we look at
Okay.
DPW or admin, it's a 40. And so I just thought, okay, a day of time is a day of time. So for an admin or DPW or library, 24 hours is 3 work days, right?
Okay.
So that was, we certainly could change it. That was just what I stuck in there.
and are you allowing, what is the increment? So can they do 1 hour increments, half-hour increments, 4-hour increments?
So I wrote it as up to, so certainly that could be an hour.
Cause it's whatever, usually they consider what's gonna be, if it's too burdensome, I'm gonna donate a half hour.
From an administrative aspect, I'm not particularly concerned about it, just
Okay.
because it's a caring thing. We're gonna have to deal with this, I think, so infrequently that
Okay.
right, I appreciate it, just,
Yep. And can they only donate banked hours, or can they donate the future hours they're gonna receive during the year?
No,
'Cause they
just-
usually clarify if they're banked hours, or,
yep, so in here,
didn't think I saw that.
so if you read the rest of the manual, the time has to be accrued already for it to
Okay.
be there, so it would be out of their bank. It's not earned until it's accrued now on a payroll cycle basis.
And do they have to leave hours in their bank, or can they?
They can run it to
donate?
0.
Okay,
But this also caps them at 24. So if they had 24 in, and they said, hey, I wanna donate my 24, then here you go. That's a
Okay.
decision they would make.
and then, do you have any eligibility for the recipient? Do they have to be working full-time? Do they have to, other than using, they have to be at zero balance on their leave? Do you have any other requirements?
So they would meet the qualifications of FMLA, which is they had to work, I think it's to 1,200 or 14 hours in the preceding
Okay.
year, right, in order to qualify for FMLA.
Okay,
Does that wrap that one up?
Yep.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments on that?
Okay, the other one is on page 19, and this is a cleanup. So when we were working through various aspects of the manual, this just got missed, and this created some questions. So WRS, our retirement system plan, has got qualifiers for employees, and that takes into account whether they are employed with other jurisdictions and are already a qualifying WRS member, total number of hours they work here within this jurisdiction, or standards which we would have in place locally that the WRS administration manual allows us local discretion over including those on. So in this case, we have a conflict between the WRS manual and some of our part-time employees. So what we want to do is scratch through the word full-time and say qualifying, right? So just to make that consistent with the admin manual for the WRS program. And then I've added a clarifying statement down there to go, hey, if there's ever any question about that, see Zeke, right? And I'll do my best to read the manual and then read this policy document and go, okay, benefit of the doubt. Every time benefit of the doubt, when I make a decision, is going to go to the employee. So just know that's practice. So that's it for that one. Any questions on that? Okay, so we're looking for a motion to recommend approval of the proposed changes on the village board.
I so moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, we are ready to go.
You need one more motion?
Is this done now?
Yep.
This personnel committee? This personnel book?
It's never done.
Okay.
No.
It's never
'Cause I'm
done.
like, that's gotta be like a weight off your
It
shoulders.
is. I mean, this has been a long time coming,
Yeah.
but my career experience is they're never done. Something's
Yeah.
going to change at the
Yeah.
state level or federal level, and you're always going back and rewriting them. So it's as done as it's going to be for right now.
Okay, well, congratulations.
Awesome.
Motion to adjourn, anyone?
Motion to adjourn.
And is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we are now adjourned at 5:09 PM. Thank you
All
for
right.